academic background includes a BA in psychology and African American studies, a Juris Master's in health law and policy, and she's currently pursuing an MS in clinical mental health counseling. As CEO of R&R Total Enterprise LLC, host of Off the Clock podcast, and a board member for nonprofits, English Simone uses her personal and professional experiences to consult policymakers, nonprofits, and public health leaders in developing impactful wellness programs. Co-author of the amazing bestseller, There Is No Health Without Mental Health, an anthology, she advocates for social wellness through her motto, set the standard, be the example. We just said she's a very important person. That's all that said. She matters in the earth, and we want to bring her up before us. Miss English Simone Walker, please come to the stage.
So before I get up here, y'all, let me ask y'all a question. I spoke with this beautiful young lady. She makes presents for people. So how many people like presents and, or should I say free things? Sure, yeah, yes. Well, then, yes. So let's think about that because I come bearing gifts, perhaps. So and for those of you who didn't raise your hand, right, I'm willing to bet that how you responded was highly dependent upon your experience from people, right? Your past, right? Yeah. And most of the time when we're getting free gifts, to my gift maker, that's for you. You can't really dictate what people are going to give. Thank you. Right? It's kind of by force most of the time. Not always by choice, but that's okay because guess what? Those gifts that we receive, they help make us who we are. So I'm going to give y'all these things. Y'all are special people. Let me see if I can get this off. Probably so. Surprise, right? So, whoever can, yes, everyone should be able to get one. Our gift maker, our present maker, she has quite the package. So, I want y'all to think about that for a second because, like I mentioned, or like she mentioned in my bio, one of the things that I specialize in is mental and behavioral health. And as women, we tend to carry, we're born with the crown and the cape. You know, we come in, especially as women and minorities, Black women, we come in, we are automatically born with this cape that we have to carry the world on our shoulders, and then we have this crown that just, it makes us demand attention when we walk into a room, anywhere we go. But over time, we tend to pay more attention. We put so much emphasis on the cape that we forget to care for the crown. So, a lot of the time we have these situations that we're born into, oftentimes, like gifts, like the ones that you received today, you had no control over it. You just showed up today and you expected the best, and I'm hoping that it continues in that way. Yeah. But then, think about those unforeseeable circumstances. Take, for instance, this conference. When you walk into this room, when you came in to True Hit by Hilton today, we just assumed that we were going to be in a comfortable room. You're going to have your chairs. You're probably hoping for some food, some good experiences, some networking, and at minimum, to be comfortable. Now, what happens if we strip that comfort away from you simply by removing the chairs? Simply by turning the heat up on a sunny day in Georgia. What that means is that sometimes we're placed in situations outside of our control. It's similar to our birthright. We did not control who we were born to, where we were born, why we were born. But sometimes we're placed in situations that might cause us to crumble or question that. It gets hard. But the question then remains, you can't control it. What can I do to navigate it? What am I constantly doing? What am I consciously doing to make sure that despite the situation that I was placed into, what can I do to become the better person, the better woman beyond today? So what does that look like? You have to heal the inner child, the inner girl, so that you can become the best woman. Right. Yeah. So the irony of that, beautiful blessing of being here today. And the main premise in my book, which does release today, in memory of my father, but in honor of that woman there with the red on, 1/3 of my motivation, the other two being at home eating all my snacks. It basically puts into perspective how the presence and the absence of pivotal figures in our lives help create and determine how we become, what we become. So just like the absence of those chairs could make or break this whole situation. So I'm curious, if you walk into this room and knowing you gotta be here for 2, 3, 4 hours, and you didn't have anywhere to sit down, who was gonna stay and stand up and stand it out? Some will, some won't, because I've seen some of my shoes. Now, me personally, I only got one good knee and I can't squat for long, so I don't know. But all of that to say, sometimes we are in a situation where we can't always withstand the circumstances. We need that comfort just to push us through a little bit longer, just to make sure we are okay for that moment. But that means then, you need to be sure to surround yourself with women, with like-minded people. Let me just say that. Like-minded people who can help you in your situation, despite your situation, and they're willing to pour into you just as you're willing to pour into them. So I'm going to ask some of you to look at your gifts. I want to do an experiment. Because they come in multiple sizes, right? Multiple sizes. Different size boxes. Gotcha. But all that to say, despite the packaging, despite what things look like, despite the size of the issue that you're carrying, because I know that one of those packages houses fear. Fear can make or break you. It can really cause you to stop in your footsteps. It can cause you to panic in a moment where you need to be heroic. And you can't always allow that fear to overcome you, because it could be a matter of life and death. And for those of us who have people riding on us, who depend on us, we have to find a way to step outside of that. I've lived in fear. I have lived in a place where it was dark. One of those boxes you hold talks about depression. Depression is a real thing. And a lot of the times what happens is our rooted fears and our depression, and even those things that motivate us, because this isn't all about being sad, this isn't about trauma, but trauma is a real thing. Glory is a real thing. Sadness is a real thing. Joy is a real thing. Someone has joy in their box. Someone has joy within, but your sister might not. So you want to make sure that you are able to look at your sister and say, hey, baby, girl. You want to make sure that you can reach out to her when the time is, it might not feel opportune, but just a simple smile can let her know it's okay. It's okay. How can you do that? How can you be able to speak to that joy within and push it out to your fellow sisters? You got to make sure that you have yourself healed. You have to be able to say, despite what happened to me, I'm either okay or I'm going to be okay. And you speak those words with conviction. I'm not going to walk up to Miss April and say, I'm okay. I'm not going to do that, because I'm not convinced that I'm okay. I'm going to walk up to her and say, I'm okay, I'm good. I'm better than okay. You know why? Because I believe it. And I want you to believe it as well. Same thing with those thoughts. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to know that when you were little, something happened to you. Maybe perhaps you lost your parent. That was your right-hand man and woman, your parent, your best friend. Perhaps you did face eviction with your kids. Perhaps you had your cars repoed with your children. I did. I was living in a chapter where my children and I were hopping from couch to house, and she don't know this, so don't know me. We were from couch to couch, house to house, because of that pride. I didn't want to let her down, but I knew I had to fend for those children. And the irony of it was, and one of the things that catapulted me into the space of mental and behavioral health, and as well as social programming, I worked for a nonprofit where I help people out of the very situation that I was in. Did it bother me? Like, God, why are you allowing me to bless others when I've yet to receive that blessing myself? Well, he said something about your pain that you see right now, baby girl. I'm positioning you for your purpose.
Okay.
And this was quite a time ago, but through that experience, he allowed me into rooms that I never imagined myself. I always felt that I would be great, but going back to like I told you, I didn't believe it. I was so fixated on the moment, and I was so fixated on the quote-unquote mistakes I made that had gotten me there. Why had I given up that job? Why didn't I spend my money wisely? Why did I mess with these no good fellas that meant me no good and left me with these children by myself, and now I've birthed them into a situation outside of their control? You see how the cycle goes?
Wow.
We're born into situations we can't control, and all we know is to lean on the person to our left or our right, or hopefully look up to the sky and pray about it and stand firm on that prayer. And that's what I had to do. I had to actually believe that my pain was indeed positioning me for my purpose.
Wow.
So for me, we're going to dig a little deeper because we're born into those situations, but then we're forced to make choices, right? So at some point in time, we have to say, okay, the ball is in your court. So yeah, I would love to say that being Pokey's daughter, who was, to me, he was a great father. But without going down the rabbit hole, we know that just because you excel in one role, don't mean you're going to excel in another. Just because I'm excellent to you, don't mean I'm be excellent to you. Some people see faces of us and spirits within us that we're afraid to show other people. And what that did for me as a young girl, it taught me how to be overly independent. And I say that because I was so caught up in doing what I wanted to do that I didn't take into account what choices I would make that ultimately birthed those children into less than comfortable positions, putting it mildly. Also, it taught me how to detach. And being a detached female, it equips you to go on your everyday life. You're not really caring because, you know what, I got it. I don't need you, and I don't care if you need me. I went through that. And it created a hardened heart for me. So I was always speaking things to other people just because it sounded good. I became so robotic in my way that people, you know, especially now in a social media age, we just want to hear what we want to hear. But it numbed me to the point where I didn't tell them what they needed to hear. It put me in a spot where I honestly didn't trust or believe that women could be upright citizens. I knew I was good, but because I was a daddy's girl, and because of the seed that he partially planted in me, I was on side with him.
Wow.
And it taught me a thing that it took me years. It took me becoming a parent and actually stepping into my work and my placement as a woman to understand. So when you're in those forced situations, what do? You have to eventually take accountability. So it came a point in time where I said, you know what? I can't keep feeling like this. I was sad. I walked around with a smile. And that's how people continue to lean on me. They kept leaning and leaning. But I didn't have that capacity because guess what? Because of that hardened heart that I developed, I didn't allow people in close enough so they could pour into me so I could continue to pour into the community. And it became a point where I said, okay, I want to see people happy because I know it's a domino effect. So let me take the time to work on me and to heal those things. Heal that little girl who had those experiences as a child. Heal those things that I had yet to be bold enough to talk about. Be the person to stand in the mirror and say, I am enough. It took a minute. I literally practiced it until it became a belief. So what I did, on a piece of paper, nothing fancy, I wrote the words, I am enough.
Wow.
Where did I put it? On the bathroom mirror every day.
All right.
I went, woke up, brushed my teeth, I look up. Before I could see the physical me, my eyes planted on the sign, I am enough.
Right.
I see that every day. I speak that every day. I start to walk upright with my posture, my shoulders back. I'm gonna glide.
Yeah.
Like I tell people now, I tell anybody, you walk into every room like God Himself handled it with an invitation.
Amen.
And that carries with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm humbled by when people say they feel my spirit. And now when they see my smile, I know it's genuine.
Wow.
It's not just painted on. It's not just something I bought from Walmart. I actually mean it. I actually wake up with joy, except when I have to go deal with my babies at school. Total sidebar. But in that, because I know when I'm working with those babies who are troubled, who may have one or less parents or caregivers who will pour into me the correct way.
Mm.
That lady right there poured into me the correct way. For her to get up, drive her 2 hours to be here just to celebrate her baby. Oh yeah. She poured me and poured me the right way. And she pours into her grandbaby. So what did I learn? I got that balance of independence from my father. Yes, I did. But I also learned to be nurturing and open and knowing how to pour into my own children so that they can stop that cycle of being numb and not wanting to talk. And not even understanding their true selves, not taking the time to be with their true selves. Being able to drop down to their knees in prayer. And being okay. Having a conversation with God like you do with her, and them out there. I had to learn that. I go to God, I'm like, okay. Oh, sorry. I'm like, okay. You know, God, I hear what you're telling me. I know what you're showing me. But I'm not seeing it right now. And then when I have my temper tantrums, well, God knows I'm good for a good temper tantrum. I'm like, okay, God, I done did X, Y, and Z. I done prayed. I done gave to the needy, the homeless. I done uplifted these children like they're my own. I'm buying groceries out of my own pocket and feeding 40, 50, 60 kids at school. And you mean to tell me blah, 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 blah. And then he'd be like, so baby girl, you finished? I said, maybe. Might be. He said, I want you to think about where you were just a few short years ago when you and your kids didn't have anywhere to go permanently, when you didn't have a car, you didn't have a job, they had to pay for bills, and you were worried about your child taking his own life because he was battling something he was unwilling to open up to you about because you were not in the position he needed to be in. 10 years later, my baby's still here. We are staying. Those accolades she just read have happened since then, since I sat my butt down and shut up. And walked the way he needed me to walk. And that is why I'm grateful to be able to say that despite the positioning that we're in, despite that comfort we might not have in that moment, we're learning if you're just patient enough to withstand for the moment. I'm going to bring you that chair to make this a more comfortable experience. I'm going to bring you a cup of water. I might even bring you some tea and crumpets, whatever it takes to get you through this moment, because this is just a moment. Wow. This is just a chance. And if you can just understand that where you were, what you went through, that little girl who needed to heal, you still have time to heal her, and you need to heal her because you, in this moment forward, you are a pivotal person to somebody else, and I'm pretty sure somebody in this room. So you have to be able to take yourself out of the equation and take the pity out. Because we're gonna pity with each other, but we're gonna praise each other in the same token. I hear what you're saying, baby girl. I hear what you're saying still. But it's not like that always. It won't be like that always. Yes, that happened, but how do you feel? Let's talk about how you feel. You got that out your system? Okay. Now, after you feel, it's time to heal. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We're gonna reach out, we're gonna give each other the tools. And that is how we start to really become the woman that we are destined to be. We gotta heal that little girl to become the better woman. And it takes time. I'm not gonna act like I got a billion years under my belt, but I got enough to know it takes time and a time well spent.
Mhm.
So, in closing, I'm just really happy to be amongst you guys. And with these boxes, are there real gifts? No, not perhaps. But what I want you to understand is that the glamour, the shiny things, the size of the box, the words in the box, they all look the same. Perhaps some look different. You might have seen that if somebody had a bigger box than yours, you might have wanted it. Sometimes we want what the other person got, but we don't know what we don't know what's in that package. You have these people on TV who have the glitz and glamour, and they have all the grief on the inside that they can't bear. So you want to make sure that within that box, yes, that is something to face, that is something to reconcile, but you have to want to reconcile it. And what you do then, once you see that all these things that you're carrying, the grief, the pain, the trauma, the sadness, family responsibility, community advocacy, when you see that there's some type of joy within those boxes that you carry, and you look up to God and say, okay, I need you to take some of these bigger boxes away. I just want to focus on my joy. That's what he did. He took away those bigger boxes, and I look, I'm like, what's this little bitty thing? Open it, it was joy. It was comfort. It was peace. And when you establish that peace, absolutely, you can soar. And baby, I'm soaring. I have gifts, like real gifts. And just a token of appreciation for y'all listening to me. And I'm really big on writing. That's actually one of the things that's included with my new book. There's a place where you can reflect. You can just be one with yourself. There are words in there, poetic pieces, lyrics, photography. And today, today it is 99 cents on Kindle for this week. Thank you. 99 cents for Kindle from today or yesterday through tomorrow. No problem. And just practice writing. Heal that little girl inside. You know?
Thank you. Thank you, Miss English. That was amazing. Thank you.